Humans will say my brain, my soul, my heart, my mind, my thoughts, my body, my spirit. Who and or what is my? Now, I know some questions have no answers, and I know that this is one of those questions. It is a funny little thought experiment, though. Who or what is my? I mean, is it the brain? No, because we say my brain. Is it my finger? No, because we say my finger. I mean, I guess you could say my being the self, but what is the self and what does the self come from? The concept of self has been around for quite a while. The person that I know to be a notorious voice in this discussion of self would be Carl Jung, the psychologist, the philosopher, the doctor. I guess you could say that the self, recognizing the self, would be consciousness. Because in order to recognize the self, there has to be this. There has to be something else. There has to be what I'm doing right now. And I have said this before. I believe that the shape of the body that you have is the essence of oneself. If the self has an essential, unchanging core that defines its identity, then what is behind that? What is giving the self, what is giving yourself, what is giving yourself its identity? Because as far as I'm concerned right now, and I could be completely wrong, this is kind of just a thought experiment at this point. If consciousness is the ability to recognize self, and a glimpse into yourself is the shape of your body, I believe the shape of your body is a view into one's self, or I guess you could say one's character. Let's just say one's self. It is the essence of one's self. The body is the essence of one's self. Consciousness recognizes self, and body is an extension of self expressing itself. And the self has beliefs and things it identifies with. So is that experiences, or is there something more behind it? Because if you have something you believe versus something you don't believe, is that already there for you? Is that part of you? Part of me wants to say yes. Part of me thinks it has to just be more than nature and nurture. There has to be something more to this. Consciousness is the ability to recognize the self. Self can be seen through the body. The body is an extension of oneself. It is the essence of who you are. You can shape that into your body. You can shape who you are. And beliefs and habits and character are part of the self. They are also an extension of the self. They are an extension of what? I guess that's the question here. Because there is a self, and I guess you could say the self could be consciousness, or it could be self, or whatever. But there's something behind the self. There's something behind self. And maybe it's energy. Maybe it's just energy. Maybe that is what's behind this all. But even at that, I've said this before, each individual is the universe expressing itself in different ways. And maybe some of those ways are similar, maybe some of them aren't, or we'll just say different. Each way is different. Now, if we zoom out from that, that means that the universe is alive. And we are just something that's part of this living ecosystem in the universe, in, I guess you could say, nature. But I don't think it's necessarily nature. But we are part of it in this way. This is so hypothetical and this is so philosophical, man. If the self is energy and the universe is expressing itself in different ways through different identities and different people with its already set beliefs and etc. And I'm saying this like I believe it too, which could be considered a good thing or a bad thing, because I do partially believe it. And just zoom out from there. So if we're part of this living universe and it's alive, and you zoom out from there, yeah, this was a cool thought experiment, I guess. The world is yours. Dare to be great.